When I first traveled to the Samaná Peninsula, I was drawn in by its beauty. It was the beaches and the mountains and the color of the water. But the longer I stayed, the more I realized that the real story of this place wasn't the landscape, it was the people. They say that travel heals and awakens the spirit. On my quests, I find and share stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in interesting places. My name is Gibbs, and I travel for culture. In 1824, a group of free Black Americans crossed the Atlantic searching for freedom and opportunity. Some returned to the United States, but many stayed and they built a community that still exists today. Their descendants continue to preserve their surnames, tradition, and faith, and music more than 2 centuries later. This film is my attempt to listen. Listen to that story through the lens of Bethel AME Church, one of the most enduring institutions of the Samaná American community. The secret is Samaná began as a travel series, but over time, it became something deeper, an exploration of how culture survives. Not in monuments, not in museums, but in the people who live it every day. I'm honored to share this story with audiences like you and the ALMA Film Festival, who believes that history still matters. Before there were beaches, before there were festivals, before tourism reached this peninsula, there were names. King, Kelly, Wilmore, Copeland, Green, Johnson, Shepherd, Jones, Vanderhorst, Coates, and Simmons. These surnames appear in the 19th century documentation tied to the 1824-25 migration of free Black Americans, and they are still spoken here in Samaná 2 centuries later. The question is not whether they came, the question is how they remained. In 1824 and 25, free Black Americans immigrated to Haitian-controlled Santo Domingo. Among the documented vessels, 4 Sons, Hope, and Carolina. Roughly 150 immigrants associated with 4 Sons remained, and they formed the enduring Samaná settlement. Ships brought people, institutions made them stay. The immigrants carried the African Methodist Episcopal tradition founded in 1816. In 1899, the congregation restored the AME authority under the name Bethel AME Church. We attend Bethel AME Church on the first Sunday of the month. It's Communion Sunday. In AME tradition, communion follows a structured order: invitation, confession, consecration, distribution, and benediction. The service, it's in Spanish. The structure, it's familiar. Pastor Justino Rodriguez Jones invites us to participate. So how long have you been the pastor of this church?
Ahora en marzo cumplo 40 años.
14 years.
Yes.
Awesome. Congratulations. So this history is very important.
La historia es muy importante.
Almost like African American history in the United States.
Personas afroamericanas en Estados Unidos.
We see that some of that history is being washed away. What are we doing here to preserve
Para preservar
this Samaná African American history?
Nosotros, hay cosas que nosotros seguimos instruyendo a nuestros jóvenes. Enseño a los pastores jóvenes lo que es la norma de la iglesia, lo que hemos aprendido, porque es bueno. Mantenemos lo que es celebrar
celebrate
en el
the
aniversario,
anniversary.
le hacemos la historia, contamos la historia
Talk about the story.
de lo que es
Was
la llegada de los
become the
afroamericanos,
descendants to
cómo
Samaná.
vinieron
How
en barco.
in
Hacemos
church,
también lo que es
made it
las comidas típicas
typical food.
que ellos hacían, y eso lo compartimos en lo que es nuestras actividades, para que nuestros jóvenes continúen la historia.
Ayer
I tried
nosotros probamos
Johnny cake. Are there other foods
la otra comida
that are more traditional in nature?
El moro de habichuela negra
is black beans and rice
con coco,
with coconut sauce,
carne
meat, cow meat,
con molondrón.
molondrón.
Maybe we can try some of that food
Vamos a tratar de probar eso
later on today.
después hoy.
Pastor Jones,
Pastor
Thank you-
Jones,
thank you
muchas
for your
gracias por tu tiempo.
and
Y
we really appreciate you sharing this
Nosotros
history
apreciamos su servicio el día de
with
hoy,
all of our viewers.
todo lo que ustedes son,
We see the importance of what it is that
Que lo
you are
que
doing
es,
here at Bethel
que cómo
AME
se cuida
Church
la acción
and
de la
also
iglesia
within the community.
y tu comunidad.
So hopefully
Entonces,
we'll be able to come
estamos
back soon.
interesados de volver otra vez.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Muchas
Siempre serán bienvenidos.
gracias. Every time you're welcome.
Thank you so much. We
Muchas
appreciate
gracias.
it. We will come back.
Usted también.
Okay.
Music is not performance here, it's transmission. The hymns remain recognizable, rooted in the 19th century Protestant hymnody. I sit at the keyboard, and for a moment, the Atlantic Ocean collapses. Communion follows, unbroken and preserved. After service, the testimony begins. Mr. Alberto Jones, 88 years old, blind, but he carries the names. He speaks of the ships, 4 sons, Hope, Carolina. He references the book that documents the surnames. You see, the 1871 U.S. Commission of Inquiry recorded American-descended residents in Samaná by name. This is continuity by documentation.
This book gives the history of Samaná. Now this is the book that, tell me about this.
The name of the association was Philanthropica.
Philanthropica, yeah.
Yeah, Philanthropica mean
Yep.
voluntario, everybody of the goodwill
Mhm.
decided to leave from here, from the United States, coming to Samaná.
Yeah, yeah.
It was there where this nation is formed.
On page 37 that has all of the names that were listed. Okay, and I see here Jones, Williams. Well, let me ask you, how did this book get compiled? Because this contains the history. See,
Yeah.
like I let you touch it. This right here.
Yeah.
How did this book get compiled? Because it is rich with history.
The name of the book says Emilio de Maurice. Look to see at the back of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Does say Emilio de Maurice. That the man who wrote the history.
Okay, that's who wrote the history.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. Got it. Well, listen, I really hope that this book gets compiled and put in a museum somewhere.
Yeah.
Because this right here is the real deal. I'm going to give this back to your granddaughter. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to give this back to you to keep it in safekeeping. I thank you very much for talking to
Yeah.
me today.
Yes.
We're going to share this documentary with the world so that they can better understand this history.
Yes, yes.
And before we go, I just want to get you to say your name one more time.
My name, the second name is Daniel,
Uh-huh.
but my right name is Alberto. Alberto Jones.
Alberto Jones.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Alberto Jones.
Alberto Jones. And you are 80.
Yeah.
Albert. You are 88 years old.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
And I live there in the Barrio Wilmo.
Uh-huh.
I have lands in the country.
Okay.
You know, I'm poor, but when God will rich.
Ah.
Yes, and God will rich.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Associate Pastor Pedro Emmanuel Shepherd Vanderhorst is working to document the Samaná American experience. Preservation now requires digitization and archival work. The Harvest Festival continues annually. It's rooted in 19th century Protestant Thanksgiving traditions, adapted to agricultural survival. Food offerings become edible memory, and spoken word becomes identity. Many immigrants returned to the United States, but the ones who remained did so through structure. It was through governance, through worship, and through song. Bethel AME preserved liturgical order, surnames, and ritual. This is infrastructure. It's endurance. In 1824 and 25, free Black Americans immigrated to Haitian-controlled Santo Domingo, seeking autonomy and freedom. Nearly 2 centuries later, their descendants continue to worship at Bethel AME Church in Samaná. Through liturgical order, hymnody, surname continuity, and archival preservation, this film examines how faith functions as institutional infrastructure. Blending historical research and present-day testimony, the church that carried a people reveals how institutions, not geography, ensured survival. Over the past few days, we've traveled this peninsula, from kitchens and markets to hidden beaches and quiet roads, meeting people who carry this place forward every day. And what you begin to realize is that culture doesn't survive because someone protects it. It survives because someone lives it. In the food, in the music, in the faith, in the names of the people that are still spoken in this church today. The world will always come to Samaná for the beauty, the beaches, the mountains, the blue water, but the beauty was never the secret. The secret was always the people who stayed and the stories that they carried forward long after the ships were gone.